Good evening, viewers out there. Thank you for joining tonight on People's Parliament. We are looking at trending national stories and the feelers of Nigerians across board. I remind your hosts, Mr. Ako Christian Ache, otherwise known as Due Process. It's a pleasure to have other co-participants via Zoom who are joining us on People's Parliament. I have Ms. Grace and Mr. Frank. It's a pleasure to have you join us tonight, as well as other guests that will be joining in the course of the program. Tonight, we are taking a look at trending stories, of course. Number one on the item is permutations of ADC tickets and the mood of the Nigerian masses. What are Nigerians saying about the ADC, as well as presidential tickets? All that will be looked into as we progress in the program. And number two is COPDEM irrefutable influence block in the ADC. So as you understand, COPDEM was the first to make the move way back in November 2024, when COPDEM saw the need to align with a political party of repute. And COPDEM advanced the discussion, and by January 31st, COPDEM entered into an official MOU with the ADC. It is on this premise that COPDEM has converted all our members into ADC as card-carrying members. Over 20,000 ADC membership cards were acquired for initial disbursements across the COPDEM members who have already joined the ADC as card-carrying members. Also, we are looking at ADC Directorate of Mobilization. ADC Directorate of Mobilization was set up primarily to be able to boost the number of ADC members across the Confederation. It was observed that before now, as at previously, the ADC members were not in that large number as a national political party. But with the income of COPDEM, even before the arrival of the coalition, COPDEM was able to pop up membership base of the ADC using the Directorate of Mobilization of the ADC to expand the membership base nationwide. And of course, I see that the ADC Directorate of Mobilization has already gone global after completion of national interim mobilizers. After completing the structures across the country, we've gone global, having diasporal Nigerians joining the Directorate of Mobilization. We're also taking a look at the fourth item, which is Nigerian terrorism. As an evil allowed to fester, the Nigerian authorities have repeatedly shown complicity in handling of security matters. As a matter of fact, we've had repeated attacks where security personnel were given adequate prompts to be able to respond to the situation. Unfortunately, they gave flimsy excuses of waiting for orders, and which led to wanton loss of life. Remember the case of Yelwata, what happened when the military were alerted, and they never really intervened. Over 200 Nigerians were killed in Yelwata. Women, children, and even adults as well were burnt down without any action by the government. We'll be taking a proper look at that as to how the Nigerian government has allowed insecurity, terrorism, genocide to fester in our country. Now, of recent, you understand what happened at Kainji. Kainji is an area under Borgu local government area of Niger State. And of course, it's appalling to note that over 30 civilians who have gone to the market to acquire or to sell or to buy goods for their family could no more return back home alive. They were slaughtered in the market. And until this moment, the government is here to take action. I mean, how many can we say? The list are inexhaustible. Look at Plateau, big heights of insecurity. Niger, across the local governments are facing one problem of insecurity or the other. I've got two people you understand in Benue State face relentless terror attacks, genocidal attacks at that. The government have not taken any drastic action to prevent this attack. Operating in security formation that is reactionary cannot yield any positive results. We need a proactive security measure to quell all forms of genocide and terrorism that are affecting the lives of our people. And of course, we are looking at PVC registration. The federal government has commenced PVC registration across the country. The portal is open and Nigerians are encouraged to register. Viewers out there, please make out time. It's not that difficult, right? Try to go to the INEC portal and register for your PVC. If you want to relocate to a more convenient place where you can easily vote, you can do that easily. Just relocate your existing PVC to a new location. And if you're a first-time voter, maybe you misplace your PVC card. This is the right time for you to request for a replacement of a lost or damaged PVC. And if you have never voted in your life before, this is the right time. Don't just sit on the fence and assume that the votes don't count. You go out there and get your PVC, register, then you can now have a claim as to whether the votes count or otherwise. In essence, we must all get involved in this Rescue Nigeria mandate. And of course, Mr. Tinubu took a swipe on Tinubu. Tinubu-led the federal government that borrowed $90 billion. And so far, the government of Bola Tinubu has borrowed $90 billion. And he made a very clear analogy that if we give just 25% of this $90 billion to the youths in attempt to end poverty, the poverty will have died as of today. And he gave a very clear analysis where he said, if, for instance, $5,000 is given to each Nigerian entrepreneur, that they will have succeeded in job creation revolution. And he demanded that Tinubu should stop wasting billions and start building empires. You know, this is how we expect a new leadership in the country. We cannot afford to continue to sit back doing the same thing over and over and expect a different result. You say it's not easy. Some people are alluding that leadership is not that easy. But then, how can you tell me that you borrowed $90 billion and you squander it without anything to show for it? Without touching on the lives of the Nigerian people? Look at terrorism increasing, insecurity increasing, unemployment on a steady rise. We keep graduating young people from school, from different universities, tertiary institutions, polytechnic, federal college of education, without a hope of where to work. Yet, you borrowed $90 billion, aside from other federal revenues, like from sale of crude oil, of course, sale of other crude components, like gasoline, and even cooking gas. All these federal government have it in abundance, as well as income from custom duty. Custom duty has been generating funds for the Nigerian government since inception. Until this moment, Nigerian government have not been able to improve the lives of the Nigerian people. Tax is another thing. For each 10,000 and above, the federal government gets 50 naira. If you are transferring 10,000 naira and above, the federal government is making deduction of 50 naira. They call it stamp duty. Who is giving account for all these funds put together? These are fundamental questions that Nigerians across board need to ask. This is not a time for tribalism or religiosity. Those things have not helped us, and we should learn to put them behind us and be able to move the country forward by asking realistic, probing questions. It is on this note I'll be welcoming my guests in the studio who are joining via Zoom. I have Comrade Sunday, I have Mr. Frank, I have Madam Grace, others that also expecting to be part of this conversation. So please feel free to unmute so that we can have a joint session on this subject matter. Comrade Sunday, are you available to speak?
Good evening, due process.
Yes, good evening, Comrade.
Thank you for giving me another opportunity to speak tonight.
Thank you.
This is Comrade Edegbe Sunday, speaking from Ilorin, Kwara State. I'm starting from the last one of the federal government borrowed $90 billion. You see, we have been saying this over times. We continue complaining of these issues. All the governments that have ruled this country from the beginning till now, this president want borrow more money than any government before now. And the question is, are they accountable for this money they are borrowing? What are they using the money for? This government, as I speak, I see the government as they are wasting, they are not wasting, resources, they are wasting money. The infrastructure is not ongoing, we are not seeing them, things are not working, and we keep borrowing money all the time. This government, led by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, they should stop all this borrowing. It is not borrowing we will use to survive this country. All this money now, like this money you have borrowed now, if you put it to other areas, we will generate more money from it to stand on our own. After this money finish now, they will go back again to borrow another one. You know how many times they have borrowed money? So this thing is not helping us. The government should wake up. The people should wake up. Because this government, they only believe in wastages. They are wasting things in this country. Things are not working. The people should stand up. Civil society organization should rise up and say, President, enough is enough. Stop borrowing money. This thing putting us in more debts. We will not progress like this. Now, on taxation now, they are still collecting 50 naira from transfer above 10,000 above. Who does that? Is it through taxation the country is going to move forward? Is it through taxation the country is going to do better? There are other areas we can invest money. Can't we invest money and be getting money from farm products and other areas to be able to feed this country? Why are we taxing the poor people? We are bringing more hardship to the people. It can't work. They have to stop all these things. And that is the main reason Nigeria should rise and take over this government. This government, if you check the people that are there today, they are the people that have one corruption case or the other. Check it. I don't want to mention them. They are there. So when money comes like this, they share it and go back again to borrow another one. So we cannot move forward like this. And on the other one, on the PVC, I want to use the opportunity to encourage all Nigerians to go and register for their permanent voters card to be able to vote this government out of office come 2027. You can do your transfer. It's very easy. Choose any INEC office close to you. Go there. If you have old one you want to transfer, take it there. They will transfer it for you if you don't know how to do it on your own online. Even if you do it on your own, you still have to go there for the capturing or thereabout. So please let us register. Let's do our transfer. Let us vote massively come 2027 to be able to remove this government from office. Nigeria terrorism.
Okay, go on.
Okay. Nigeria terrorism ravaging every loops and cranny of Nigeria, of the country today. And the government, they are not proactive. Though I can see that the military they are trying their best, just that we have some among them that are big compromise. That is why they are not yielding much result. But the military, and at the same time, they are low in number. So the government have to do something, provide them the modern equipment to fight and recruit more people to be able to end this terrorism in Nigeria. Because as we speak now, among our people here, there are the people that never want this terrorism to stop because they are benefiting from it. Even the money allocating for the equipment, people are benefiting from it. As far as they are benefiting from it, they will not want the terrorism to end in the country. So I want to plead to the federal government to intensify efforts to ensure that this issue of terrorism become a thing of the past. And I also plead to the governments of the United States of America. They have started the work, but it's like they are relaxing this time around. They need to come around, they need to come and target these people and also help us. Likewise, Israel that have promised to assist US. We are still waiting for these people now to come in. At least if they put hands together, put heads together to fight this terrorism, between now and the next 12 months, we are not supposed to be hearing things of terrorism in this country. So approach matters a lot. I plead, let them do the needful so that Nigeria will experience peace once again. Thank you. Maybe we'll
All
be
right,
talking about that later.
thank you for your submission on the subject matter, the fate of the nation. And of course, we are still taking a look at the ADC Directorate of Mobilization. They have completed recruiting interim national structures nationwide. And of course, they have advanced it to the international community by setting up a global platform that welcome all new members of the diasporas into the ADC. And this is a welcome development. We are also looking at permutations of ADC presidential tickets and the mood of the masses. Of course, the masses are looking up to the ADC to come to the rescue by presenting a ticket they so much believe in, a ticket they believe will end the poverty in the land, a ticket that will rescue Nigeria, a ticket that will not be difficult for them to sell at the grassroots, a ticket that has human face, a ticket that resonates with the plight of the Nigerian masses, a ticket that stands for the Nigerian masses, a ticket that understands that there is need to end hunger, a ticket that understands the need to end terrorism and all forms of genocide against the Nigerian people. A ticket that stands for raising the average value of the Nigerian international passport. That is a ticket the Nigerian people are looking up to the ADC to produce, and it is not too difficult to demand for. It's about not just winning election, but ensuring that the country is, revitalized and revamped to benefit the Nigerian masses. It is on this note I'll be taking us to our commentary. The commentary we have for the day is an essay from His Excellency Mr. Tinubu, who gave a narration of his day, which was on the Sunday, January 4th, 2026. And he said, while I quote, he said, let me just read out his essay quickly. A young nurse encounters Nigeria. In other words, this phrase means what you and I otherwise call Nigeria happened to someone. That is just the other way that Mr. Tinubu has coined it. He said, a young nurse encounters Nigeria. Sunday, 4th January, was an unusually demanding day for me. I had an event in Ughelli, Delta State, and had to drive from Onitsha to the city. Some of you may not understand, Mr. Tinubu drive himself across the country sometimes. I know it may be strange, but that is what it is. Delta State. From there, I proceeded to another event in Ngidi, Imo State, and thereafter traveled from Owerri to Lagos. Of course, that one should be by flight. On the Air Peace flight, I sat in 5A. Beside me is 5B. Was a young woman of about 24 years, Chidera Ugo Keba, whose parents are from the Southeast, but who was born and raised in the USA. She had just graduated from nursing school and was visiting Nigeria with her parents for the very first time. She had exchanged contact seats. She had exchanged her seats with her sibling to enable her to talk to me, having been told who I am. During the flight, she began to share her sadness and confusion about Nigeria. Her first question was simple but piercing. Why do basic things not work in Nigeria? This is someone that the first time she's coming to Nigeria. So why do basic things not work in Nigeria? She then recounted a painful experience. Her sister, who also visited Nigeria for the very first time, had a domestic accident and was rushed to what they were told was the best government-owned hospital in that area. On arrival, even though her sister's hand was bleeding, the hospital staff insisted that payment must be made before any treatment could begin. So shocked, they asked the hospital attendant whether he truly did not see the surgery, whether he did not truly see the surgery or the urgency of the situation. In response, they were shown other patients with even worse conditions who were also being left unattended to because they had not paid their hospital bill. That is, they are trying to justify that they are not the only one. There are others who they even met on ground who have not been attended to simply because they have not paid the hospital bill. They eventually paid, and it was time for the blood test. Traumatized, they realized the hospital had only one testing machine. for all patients, only one testing machine for all patients. And it was not being sterilized between users, meaning just from user to user, they don't sterilize the machine that was used for blood testing. You could know what that means if you're medical personnel. That is already a problem on its own. When she raised concerns that the equipment had not been properly sterilized, they were bluntly told to stop asking questions if they wanted her sister to be treated, which is a regular thing from Nigerian government officials. Despite their payments, they had to buy all the items needed for her treatment. She found it hard to believe because, according to her training and every hospital she had visited in her lifetime in the US, treatment comes first, payment comes later, which form the slogan, saving lives first. She told me they had considered organizing a GoFundMe project to support healthcare back home, but relatives warned them that any fund raised would likely be embezzled. Talking about what? Corruption in the Nigerian system. Then she said something that struck me deeply. I now understand what happened to boxer Joshua. You understand, recently there was a tragic accident that happened where Anthony Joshua was involved in a tragic accident along the Ibadan-Lagos Expressway between two metropolitan cities, and there was no ambulance that would attend to him. That's so bad. Because somebody somewhere is sitting on the allocation that will have been used for these facilities, embezzlement. This is why there was no ambulance to rush him to a nearby hospital. She wondered aloud whether it was simply because the country is poor. Yet, she added that she would willingly offer her skills and service for free and help raise money to make things better. Listening to the lament of the young, patriotic Nigerian who is prepared to offer free service and raise money to help our country and its citizens, I painfully replied by encouraging her not to lose hope. The country is not poor, but it is poorly governed. That's the response of Mr. Tinubu to the young nurse who was asking very piercing questions. Nigeria can afford basic necessities, according to Mr. Tinubu in his response, especially critical necessary ones, but they are often not considered priorities due to the incompetent leadership that have been ruling Nigeria for many years. A standard ambulance costs about 150 million naira, that is $1,000. Nigeria spent 39 billion refurbishing the National Conference Center in Abuja, and another 21 billion naira rebuilding, renovating, refurbishing the vice presidential residence in Abuja that he is not even living in. Those two projects alone cost 60 billion naira. Would have been provided about 400 brand new ambulances These funds alone for these two projects were enough to provide 400 ambulances for the entire country, out of which roughly 11 ambulances will have been disbursed to each state. Imagine each state having 11 ambulances on the standby along expressway, including the Federal Capital Territory, us. Had 11 functional ambulances existed in Ogun State, one might have been available to attend to Anthony Joshua, the boxer. That's the response of Mr. Peter. He went on to say, building a primary health care in a community costs about 75 million naira. Yet we spent about 300 billion, that is about $200 million, on additional presidential jets. Money that could have built over 4,000 primary health care centers, about 110 per state. Imagine government funding 110 healthcare centers per state. You can only imagine the impact that will have in reducing maternal mortality, right? You will have imagined how that would have impacted on reducing child mortality across Nigeria. You will have imagined how that would have managed malaria, typhoid, and all the minor cases that will have been handled at the primary healthcare level. This is just a tip of an iceberg. And he went on to say, the only visible value, the jets, that is the presidential jets, the only visible value the presidential jet adds is the ability of the president to occasionally disappear without any public knowledge, knowing where he is, as is the case currently. Nigeria as it is now don't even know where the president of Nigeria is, because they often use the presidential jet to get out of the country without trace, because they don't need to visit public airports to book flight and all that. So what Nigeria needs now is unity across ethnic, religion, and political lines to demand leadership that has competency, capacity, compassion, and commitment to accountability, and transparently manage the resources of the country. And we conclude by saying a new Nigeria is possible. H.E. Peter Obi. This is the excerpt coming from the Facebook page of His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi. And you can see how he was able to demonstrate how Bola Ahmed Tinubu successfully took a loan, a foreign loan of $90 billion without anything to show for it. And he gave example how there was misplaced priority of renovating the International Conference Center in Abuja, fund that will have been used for revamping, building primary health care across Nigeria. Imagine having 110 primary health care, new ones or existing ones refurbished across Nigeria. Imagine how that would impact on the standardization of the healthcare sector in Nigeria. This is just a tip of an iceberg. Comrade, you have something to add to it.
Thank you very much, due process. I want to say that, you cannot continue to do things in the same the same way and expect a better result. It's not done. On the area of, I'm talking of on the area of the tickets. See, let me tell you something. It is not about how are you going to win the primary election. It's not about struggling to win the primary election. But the truth is that who will take Nigeria out of this mess, this situation we are today? Who is that man that will come and rescue Nigeria? That is the person we are talking about. It is not about, yes, maybe I will win the primary. Maybe people know me, we can give them something. They can. No, let us do things differently. Let us do things differently so that all these things happening in Nigeria today, at least there is a man that can be able to address these issues. Because the man is very agile, he's very experienced, he has traveled all over the world, you know. So if he's given this ticket, my brother, I tell you, Nigeria will move from where it is and begin to challenge some foreign countries in terms of economy area and even security and and every area, every aspect. Because looking at his antecedents when he was a governor of Anambra State, he did a lot. The man that can lift such a huge amount of money, you know, for to do the work of the state. It is only him now and the former president Yaradua when he
Yeah,
was a governor. I left $5 million.
5 billion.
$5 billion. Yes, 5 billion.
No, 5 billion
And
naira. Not dollars. So Yar'Adua
yes,
left 5 billion naira.
oh, 5 million naira. Oh, okay.
5 billion
And
naira.
Peter Obi left billions. Peter
Peter
Obi
Obi
left
left
billions.
75 billion naira, and he also left $150 million, aside from other
Who does
investments
that?
for the states.
Are you telling me he doesn't have power to pack the money if he wish?
And that is why he said,
Eh,
uh, when you have the ability to take, I mean, to leave what you could steal, that
uh-huh,
is not easy to come by.
uh-huh. So you have the power, but because the man believes in accountability and transparency, he is not. He doesn't have time to tag himself with such, things that will stay in himself. No, he left the money, and they use the money judiciously to build airport and all of that. A lot of things they use the money for, and it's not as if he was not working. He was working, was doing his best. He provided the computer for the schools and lot more. A man that gave his phone number to senior prefects in schools that if they are doing things they don't like, they should call him directly. So that man is a man that will take Nigeria to the next level.
All right. Thank you, Comrade Edegbe Sunday from Kwara State. Do we have more contribution on the subject matter? Welcome to People's Parliament.
Good evening.
Honorable, you're welcome. It's a pleasure to have you on Parliament.
My name is Honorable Wale Adefarati. I'm,
It's a pleasure.
I'm calling from E4 in Ogun State here.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Yes,
I want to look at on the agenda, the item 5.
okay.
What really we should be doing at this point in time, because whether we like it or not, give or take, we have less than 6 to 7 months to work as a team to also look at how we can, make the structure to work. Because you see, in politics, and most of us, we know that politics is local. Personally, as I'm talking to you, because I'm also aspiring, to the state assembly, and quite a number of things that need to be done structurally. Because if as a party we are not, doing this, we are not making sure that the structure are solid, because elections are won, in the units, from the unit then to the ward, from the ward then you can begin to accelerate, to the top. So what we need to be doing, because this voters registration, there is a lot of bottleneck on it, which there should be a collaborative effort to make sure that there is a lot of people that are not registered. There's a lot of people that have issue with with the PVC. Maybe it's damaged. There is some have lost it. Then there are issues with transfer. These are things that we need to start working on as soon as possible. Because now, for me, for the little I've been able to do in my own constituency, because I fall within the constituency 2 in Ifo local government. Now, we have where my own constituencies lies within the outskirts of Lagos, where you have a lot of movement of people from Lagos now residing in Ogun State. So, which make the volume of voters, for eligible voters, very voluminous. So how do we go about this thing? These are the things that for us to win election, whether it's going to be Peter Obi or any other person, but what the thing we should be doing, the ballot should be from the bottom to the top. Then how do we ensure that it happens that way? Is by way of making sure that the grassroots is well grounded, the structure from each ward. That is how we can, at the end of the day, be able to say, yes, we have done very well. I can give you the experience I had in 2023. I was the one that signed the broadsheet at the local government where results are being collected. And what I saw and the experience I had, is something beyond what somebody can start saying outside. But for the benefit of this platform, I just need to say it because, if we don't do what we need to do from the word go, by the time before we know it now, it will be tomorrow, election will be tomorrow. So, like that time in 2003, when we want to collect the resource there, I know what happened. Most of the what we have as our record were something that were being hotter. So, but that's by the way, because we do not have a representative in all the polling units. This is even one of the issues. But what am I saying? In order not to take much of our time, is that we need to work on people that want to get PVC. And personally now, for me, I've been overwhelmed from my own constituency now. You can imagine my own ward where I reside is Ward 7. Ward 7, falling from Ojodubaga to when you get to Songo. And I have a platform where I see people that I reside in outskirts of Lagos, and somebody is staying in Songo. I have about more than, let's say, about 200 people. They want to get registered. So now, how do we go about this thing, I was able to link with some other people that work in INEC that do because there's what we call pre-registration of the voters card. That is the initial one that you would do to generate a code. With that code, then the final one, which is going to be done in the local government, it will be very easier for them to just do a thumbprint and have the PVC. So we need help. This is where I'm just saying, so that we need help to make sure that we mobilize people from the unit level to the ward level, so that we can be able to do the pre-registration. From there, they can generate that code, and it will be easier. And another thing, you can imagine, okay, for instance, from Akute, for example, if somebody is picking about 100 people from Akute to Songo, where at Ifo, to Ifo, where the local government is, because that is when the final thing will be done. That's where they're going to get to print and get the PVC. So I don't want to take much of our time. We need to really work on all these things. Otherwise, by the time we open our eyes, we'll be in election time. And if we don't do all these things, we don't make sure that we also try and work on all this area, it might be the same story of 2023. So thank you very much. So I will have to stop there.
Thank you for your contribution, Honorable, all the way from Ogun State. And we thank you for what you are doing to see to a new Nigeria. Of course, we are not folding our arms, and we are doing what we can to sensitize Nigerians to get involved. And of course, I bet you the PVC registration will continue to feature in our program. And just do well. You're on the Ogun State platform, right? Honorable.
Yes. I'm there already. I'm there.
Please drop me a DM after the program so that I'll take note of your contact in that location.
All right. I don't know. You can give me your last two numbers so that I can be able to know precisely if it's you.
3633.
All right. 3633.
Put it among the admins there. You'll see it.
All right. No problem. Thank you.
All right. Or you can just drop a message on the platform. I will check it.
Okay. I will do that right away.
All right. Thank you. So it's a pleasure to having you join, and we look forward to your continual engagement and being part of this program. Viewers out there, we thank you. In the absence of further contribution to the topic of the day, I would like to wrap up the discussion, and thank you for joining. We believe that we are advancing, and Nigerians are beginning to see reason to take back their country, because we cannot continue to have the same approach and expect a different result. 2027 is not time for anyone to sit on the fence. It's time for all Nigerians to get involved, and knowing fully well that we have commitment to our motherland. Let us get committed, get involved, register and get your PVC, and also register to become an ADC member. That is where to start from as well. Register, don't just be complaining and be expecting ADC to do certain things. Go and become official member of ADC so that you'll be able to influence the outcome of whatever decisions will be taken by the ADC. That's the way to go about it. Politics is local. While we are speaking at the center, we should do well to be part of the local politics in our respective ward. If you don't know your ward, visit your state ADC chairman or chairperson, as the case may be, and ensure that you get rooted in the party, get involved. It's not a rocket science. It's a process that has to be followed. Thank you for being part of the program, and do have a pleasant evening. I remain your host, Mr. Ako Christian Oche, otherwise known as Due Process. Thank you, and God bless you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable.